tuned into Catalyst Conversations.
What's happening, family? It's Ted Winsley. Welcome to Catalyst Convo. We have an amazing podcast today. As you know, this is the Better Man series. We've been getting ready for our Better Man 24, October 26th, right here at Voorhees, New Jersey, at 333 Preston Avenue at the Family Church. We have, it's going to be an amazing lineup of NFL players. We have an amazing guest speaker that evening. I'm just teasing a little bit. Y'all got to check it out and get everything that's going on. But today I have a special guest who's actually going to be with us at our Better Man conference. And across the table with me is a friend, a mentee, a brother, and just even confidant, Jason Avant. Can we make some noise for Jason? There's three of us in here. Make some noise for Jason. Jason Avant, NFL veteran, 11 years in the NFL. You're also an entrepreneur, but you're a child of God. You're a father, and you love people. And so we're so glad to have you here with us. And today, this is what we're calling, Jason, our Dreams and Nightmares edition. So before we get into it, man, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thanks for having me, Pastor Ted. It's a blessing. I've been knowing you for a long time. Nobody that I trust more. So I appreciate you for having me, and let's help men get better.
Let's go. Let's help men get better. So like I said, Jason, our theme is dreams and nightmares. I think that's a Meek Mill's. It's dreams and nightmares. And let's the Bible actually has something to say in Romans chapter 8. Verse 17 through 18. And then I want to get your thoughts, like I said, and I'll key this up. The theme is dreams and nightmares. And the reality is that God's promises create the dream. God's promises create the vision. However, on the road, as we all know, to every promise, every dream, we're going to find out that there are nightmares. Oftentimes, people never make it to the dream because they get stuck in the nightmare. Romans chapter 8, verse 17, it says it this way. It says, if we are his children, then we are his heirs also. It says, heirs of God and fellow heirs with Christ, sharing in, here's the dream, sharing in his inheritance with him. Only, here it is, only we must share his suffering if we are to share his glory. 18 says, but what of that? For I consider that the sufferings of this present time, this present life, are not worth being compared with the glory that's about to be revealed to us, in us, and for us, and offered on our behalf. And so, Jason, just when you hear that, dreams and nightmares, as it relates to what God is saying in Romans 8, 17 through 18, give me your take. What comes to your heart?
Yeah, I think that we talked about this before, but it's seasons. There's going to be times where everything is great, and there's going to be times where things are not.
Yeah.
But ultimately, as a Christian, our goal is to see him. So we have to be able to go through, withstand, the things that will happen in this life.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes to dreams and nightmares, no matter what you say or set out to do, there's going to be some form of restriction, some form of adversity that you're going to have to overcome and to endure. That's a part of it. It's a prerequisite. You can't think of it as something that's strange. Right. And that's what Paul said. This don't view it as something strange, right? This is supposed to happen. So I think that's our mindset when we have to go through adversity. I'm prepared for it because he told me.
I think that's so important. We'll use we'll go from the Bible to sports references or the book of Mike Tyson. And as we all know, Mike Tyson said what? This is his famous saying. He said, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. And so I love this in this passage of scripture because it starts off with letting us know that we're an heir. Letting us know that we're joint heirs with God. But then it moves from that to, like you just said, but you're going to suffer. But there's going to be problems. There's going to be issues. But I think the most important part of it is letting us know that what you know is not going to, if you know it, it's not going to change what's happening around you. So Jason, let's start from the beginning.
Did you know that your business is as unique as your fingerprint? Haddon Savings understands your business's unique financial needs and is here to help with a wide range of SBA loans and assistance. We also offer commercial real estate loans to leverage your equity. Use it to build, buy, refinance, expand, or remodel your business. Call us today to get individualized financial services tailored to fit your needs. Haddon Savings Bank, creating banking relationships since 1905.
There's no greater reward than seeing someone through a difficult process and helping them to what often becomes their second chance. Real people with real problems don't choose law firms, they choose lawyers.
For me, the best attorney for the situation was needed. If you're sincere about your freedom, I recommend you hire Tamika McCoy.
For over 50 years, Nuss Construction has focused on family first and giving back to our community. That's why we are proud to support Family Matters Daycare in the Better Man 24 conference. If you are in South Jersey, consider us if you need a new bathroom, kitchen, or an addition to your existing home. Protecting your family and making them more comfortable is one of our key focus points. Call today for a free consultation and discover the Nuss Construction Company difference.
So you are from where?
Oh, I'm a Southside Chicago kid.
How come everybody said, is Chicago that big? Is that why they go South Side, West Side?
Chicago's 82 public high schools. Just
Okay,
think about
wow. Okay, all right. So now I get it. See, I'm from Dover, Delaware. All right, okay. So I'm from Dover. There's only one high school in Dover. Okay, so we didn't say I'm from the South Side of Dover. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm from Dover.
No, South Side is a city.
You're from the
Yeah.
South Side of Chicago. So talk to me if you will. Many people know your story, many don't. People would say that you're living a dream, but people don't realize that there were dark times in your life. So just, can you tell me in your mindset, just growing up, what was the first nightmare that you had to experience that you couldn't get stuck in? That if you got stuck in that nightmare, you would have never begun to experience some of your dreams.
Oh, man, this can unpack. All right, so let me tell this as quick as I can.
Let's go.
Southside Chicago kid. Mom left when I was a baby.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, mom left when I was a baby. My dad was in a small conflict called the conflict of Grenada.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, sure.
But he was on the second wave, and
Wow.
back in those days, they didn't know what PTSD was.
Wow.
He was injured, but he was also on dead body cleanup, right?
Wow.
So when he came home,
Was he in the Army? Or?
yeah, or Marines.
Marines. Wow.
But when he got back, they didn't know, how to deal with that. So what do? You self-medicate, and the thing was crack cocaine.
Yeah.
So my dad was in and out of jail, crack cocaine. He left me with my grandmother. My grandmother is from a small town, Hushpahkinny, Mississippi.
Come on, Hushpahkinny.
Don't even exist anymore.
What?
It's that small.
The town is gone.
Don't even gone.
Okay, all right.
But
Where'd it go?
back in those days,
just ended?
yeah, Greenwood.
How do you get rid of
Greenwood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Greenwood. It became a part of a bigger city.
Okay.
Back in those days, anybody that was, part of that after slavery sharecrop and all those things, you went directly north. So most people are from Chicago are from Mississippi.
Wow.
That's what people don't realize.
Thank you
Like,
for the
from
education.
Chicago, you're from Mississippi.
Yeah.
So my grandmother is like a very kind woman, take everybody in.
Wow.
She has a house on 91st of Laughlin. In this house, 10, 12, 14 people living in, cousins, people, neighbors, whoever it was.
Wow.
My grandmother take you in.
Yeah.
My grandmother was a praying woman.
Amen.
Like laying on the hands, go to church all day.
Let's go.
9 a.m. to 7. And she used to make me Miss Martin. I used to be so mad. I don't know if you remember that back in the day.
Well, we know Martin. Martin's still going on.
Yeah, she used to make me Miss Martin. Be at church all day.
Yeah.
And she would lay her hands on me every night.
Wow.
Lord, do something special in his life. Change him, get him out of his neighborhood. Do whatever.
Wow. So that was the confession.
Confession.
That she
Grandma
made over your life.
over.
Yeah.
Her and my aunt were the spiritual people.
Yeah.
Then I had the Hellraisers on the other side of the and before you know it, because my family was a part of the Gangster Disciple Street gang and they were ranked in the gang.
Okay.
I was selling drugs in 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Okay.
Most people don't know this,
Yeah.
but I was running and doing stuff for my cousins because they had means. My grandmother loved Jesus, and I loved that part about it, but she
had no money.
She had no money. and
So you said this is called the Gangster Disciples.
yeah, Gangster
Okay.
Disciple Street
Yeah.
gang. And So
was that before Crips Bloods?
it's actually that was before Crips and Bloods.
Yeah.
But actually, Crips and Blood spun off into that from them.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
Okay.
So my house
Just had to get a gangster education. Keep going.
That's funny. The craziest thing is this: is that in the state of New Jersey, if your house is rated, in the state of Illinois, if your house is rated 3 times, you get it taken from you.
Oh, wow.
My house is rated twice, like the movies, front door, battering ram, police in the alleys surrounding the house, multiple times. My grandmother hurried up and sold the house. And then we scattered throughout Chicago.
Wow.
In this new neighborhood, I was still with my grandmother and my aunt. They were into basketball.
Okay.
And I began to play basketball. I got really good at it.
Okay.
Was ranked in the country as a freshman in basketball. My basketball coach, because I went Southside school, there's no money on the South Side of Chicago. He was coach. He coached about 7 sports. Coach Willie Simp.
Wow.
And
Shout out to Coach Willie.
Willie Simp. And he was a basketball and football coach. And he got tired of everybody showing up. 300 kids, 300 boys for basketball team because Michael Jordan back in them days.
Right, Chicago.
And nobody showing up for football. Like whoever showed up made the team. So he was like, man, you can't play basketball for me unless you play football.
Interesting.
So he put me out there linebacker. Line me up.
Now, how big were you growing up? Were you this were you this size or what?
No. I was small. I was small. Yeah. So I'm a sophomore. First time ever stepping on the football field.
Okay.
ISO fullback linebacker drill. Put me at linebacker. He tears me up like 10 straight times. I say, yo, mom, I quit and left. And my grandmother talked me into going back out along with my dad calling from prison.
Wow.
And here's the thing. During that time, my grandmother will always pray over me every night. Lord, do something special for him. Change his mind. Get him out of this neighborhood. Give him a gift of talent that he don't know anything about.
Jesus.
Right? And before you know it, the nightmare for me was overcoming my childhood. That was a nightmare because I used to ask God. I used to literally be like, why does my dad have to be strung out on drugs? Why did my mom have to leave?
Yeah.
And God would, and with my grandmother and God would be like, I got something for you.
Jesus.
But that was a part of my process that I needed to go through in order to become whatever.
Back up with just unwind it for me for a little bit. How do you think that played out? And we'll come back to that. How do you think? Because that's dramatic. How do you think that played out in your life? Father being on drugs, mother leaving. Were there as an adult or as you look back on that, were there coping mechanisms that you developed that later became vices or could also hamper the dream had you not overcome?
Well, trust.
Yeah,
I would say the biggest thing was the biggest thing for me was trust in the sense of I always felt like there was going to be some form of abandonment.
Yeah,
and so it was good from this sense because I always realized that I have to make stuff happen on my own.
Okay.
So that can be a good and a bad.
Sure.
It was good for football. It was good for business. It was good for multiple things, right? Because you are the catalyst and you feel like I'm going to make something happen.
Yes.
I'm that person that if you tell me 8 times no, I'm always figuring out a way how it can be yes.
Yes.
That's just that. That's the way that I'm wired.
Yeah.
It's the way that I run my business. Is that a no doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
That just means that we got to go a different way, right? So,
do you think that was your experience, or do you think God gave you that, or both?
I think I think it was God, but I think that was a part of me growing up as well.
Yeah.
You know, having no one really to depend on like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So good. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go back
to.
So I just had to stop there because that's tremendous. Because now. Did your mother come back into your life?
Yeah. So as here's the craziest thing. The craziest thing is I started playing football as a sophomore. I played running back. I was too afraid to get hit, so I got down before they can tackle me. I ran out of bounds or I scored a touchdown. I averaged something like 15 yards a carry as a sophomore.
You obviously probably one of the fastest kids on the team.
Well, I don't know about all that. I just didn't want to get hit. But the next year, playing as a prerequisite, I did not want to play.
Okay.
I was just playing to play basketball.
Wow.
I played receiver for the first time. I was the number 1 player in the state of Illinois playing.
Wow.
And like God opened up doors.
In 1 year.
In 1 year.
Wow.
In 1 year playing.
So she was praying over your hands as well.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was insane how fast things change.
Wow.
And change. Right. So. yeah, so God is good. And yeah, so at my freshman year in college, I heard from my mom for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was always concerned that it was for the wrong reasons, and my grandmother told me
Back
to
to
give
the
her a
trust issue.
chance.
Yeah.
Now
Now where was she?
she was only a few blocks away from me, so
Wow.
she had an opportunity.
Wow.
And so I had to forgive that.
Yeah.
And so that was a tough thing, but it provided a door where I can minister and lead her to Christ.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and that's amazing. Again, like I didn't know that. I met your mother. I've had opportunities to be around her. Amazing, sweet woman. And it's interesting. Again, like I said, just how powerful, forgiveness is, because I would have never known that had you not shared that.
Yeah, no, and that's the part. Like I had to literally go through those hard times in order to get to where I was. And later I began to realize that, all the stuff that I've experienced actually prepared me for it.
Yeah.
And what it made me realize is that the goal is nothing without the journey.
Yeah.
It don't really mean anything.
Correct.
Like you can have this dream of having a business, or you can have this dream of being, wealthy, or whatever it is, having a successful marriage, whatever it may be.
Sure.
Unless you've gone through the nights of crying, unless you've gone through the nightmares, unless you've gone through being told no, unless you've gone through like heart issues, it doesn't. That's the part that makes the goal sweet.
Yes.
Right.
That's
So
good.
it's not the Super Bowl that matters.
Right.
No, it's overcoming Tyreek Hill that go to Miami.
Yeah.
It's overcoming, this coach leaving or whatever it may be. Like that's what makes it sweet. Everyone counted us out, but we ended up overcoming.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
So good. So take me to, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but I just really wanted to walk through this, because I really believe there's a model, or there's a process that's in this. So take me to what would you have to say was your greatest nightmare that you had to overcome in the NFL?
The greatest nightmare. Okay, we could do two things, right? Greatest nightmare in the NFL was probably my family.
Yeah.
My family. Like, so learn when you come from an impoverished area, everyone thinks that you're on, and they feel like, okay, LeBron took care of all of his family because he got $90 million, but don't know that you make $400,000, and that's really $150,000 by the time you get done with it.
Yes.
So they're expecting houses and cars and all types of things. And
you remember that movie? It's called the Lottery Ticket.
Oh man, that's how it is.
For those of you who don't know, Lil Bow Wow won the lottery, and the whole city felt like we won the lottery. Go ahead.
Exactly, and that's how it is. So I would say that learning how to say no, but that was literally a nightmare, because when it's because we're humans.
Sure.
And when you're a human, no matter what your profession is, your home life actually affects you a lot. If you ever noticed that musicians fall off, athletes fall off, presidents of banks fall off when their home isn't right.
Yeah.
And but I've had family members steal money from me. I had all types of things. So overcoming that was hard.
Yeah.
And I would say after the NFL, the hardest thing that I've ever had to go through was divorce.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing I've ever, because I told so many people about Jesus.
Yeah.
I witnessed to people about marriage. I mean, you've been there.
Yeah. And sometimes we think that should ensure my stuff. I'm good.
My
Yeah.
stuff.
Go ahead.
And what I learned from that is, and we talked about it on another podcast, is that as a man, you can chase the bag to the point where you don't chase what really matters. Like you may have, I want to be rich. I want to take care of my family. I want to make sure they got everything taken care of.
So good.
And you get lost after chasing things that you don't necessarily really need.
Sure.
And that's where I would say that nightmare was. That nightmare was me being selfish.
Okay.
It was me trying to take care of extended family.
Yeah.
Doing this, doing that, and you don't keep the honey sweet, and before you know it, you end up losing out, and it becomes a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And so as a person that loves God, and knowing that you disobey, you can't. It's hard for anybody that has a love for God to overcome. It's not just a oh, one time you do this, oh, and God forgive you.
Right.
No, you have to live with that.
Yes.
And you have to see the fruit of that, and now and the person that used to be your wife or husband.
Yeah.
You have to deal with that, and that takes some time to get over.
So good. So let me ask you this: we're almost done. You're really blessing me. What would you have to say? Because you talked about two nightmare seasons in your life.
Mm-hmm.
What would you have to say that the people that you surround yourself with, or that you allow to speak into your life, how important, if at all, was that in helping you to make it through your nightmare series, your nightmare season?
Yeah, you got to be spiritual enough.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because what happens is that you'll seek comfort. I love Mike Tomlin because Mike Tomlin has some gems.
Yeah.
He always has some gems.
Uh-huh.
And he always talks about seeking comfort. That's something he should write a book about it. And basically what he's saying is that when people make excuses for things, they're just trying to seek comfort.
Wow.
They may talk about a player and why they can't do that, but that's coaching. And you're just looking for
right.
to blame.
Yes.
You're looking, for a way out. And when you're going through hard times, what you want to do is get people around you that's going to corroborate or confirm or affirm what you believe already.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you steer away from the people that actually can help you, and you want to bring people that just going to tell you sweet things.
Right. So good.
So you have to.
So that
and I remember
that takes just some maturity.
That takes some maturity. It
Yeah.
takes some maturity, but you like one of the people that I talk to you a bunch.
Yeah.
I talk to my brother a bunch
Yeah.
that's going to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
And yeah, so having people that's going to tell you the truth. Is valuable, and I think that we as people eliminate folks around us that speak the truth. We actually excommunicate them out of our lives.
Yeah,
we would rather have the person that's going to tell us sweet things.
Yeah, again, we're talking about the word, but it reminds me of Naaman and Ruth. Where Ruth had her uncle Naaman and said, "Look here, baby, maybe God put you here for a time such as this. Not necessarily, they wrong, they're bad. No, maybe you're right where you're supposed to be, and you need to be who you're supposed to be in the moment."
Yeah.
So good.
Amen.
So good.
Did you know that your business is as unique as your fingerprint? Haddon Savings understands your business's unique financial needs and is here to help with a wide range of SBA loans and assistance. We also offer commercial real estate loans to leverage your equity. Use it to build, buy, refinance, expand, or remodel your business. Call us today to get individualized financial services tailored to fit your needs. Haddon Savings Bank, creating banking relationships since 1905.
In Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, there's a slightly slower pace of living. That's also where you'll find the home of Stoltz Fish Structures, where quality, integrity, and world-class customer service are more than just a way to do business. It's a way of life. From our humble beginning over 40 years ago in a small building to the modern 65,000 square foot facility of today, we've remained at the forefront of our industry. Everything from gazebos and sheds to garages and pergolas, and everything in between.
For over 50 years, Nuss Construction has focused on family first and giving back to our community. That's why we are proud to support Family Matters Daycare in the Better Man 24 Conference. If you are in South Jersey, consider us if you need a new bathroom, kitchen, or an addition to your existing home. Protecting your family and making them more comfortable is one of our key focus points. Call today for a free consultation and discover the Nuss Construction Company difference.
Awesome. Look, man, I want to thank you. This is a little teaser. I want to thank you for your time. I know that at the Better Man's Conference, we're literally going to have an hour blocked where we literally, you, yourself, other players, the men that come are going to have an opportunity to talk about this, talk about being a better man, talk about how to overcome the nightmares and experience the dream. As we close, what's your final thought? Like if you had one thing to say to a man that's in the dark, to say to a man who forgot about the dream, to say to a man who literally is finding himself being overcome by the season of a nightmare, what would you say to them?
I think I think scripturally that the three most important characteristics that we can have is faith, love, and hope. And so me is hope, and here and this is how hope and faith usually work.
Yeah.
They work with speaking, right?
That's what your grandmother did over you.
And it works, and it works with speaking over your situation, understanding that you have to speak what you hope and not what you feel. Speak what
Say
you
that again,
hope.
please.
Speak what you hope.
Yeah.
And not what you feel. Feelings pass. You may feel like a loser in a moment. You may feel like a failure in a moment. You may have made a decision that was destructive for not only yourself, but people around you. But just know, just like that one decision caused calamity, that one good decision could cause victory.
Yes.
So understand that you're just words away, action away. It's not that hard. You can't overcome.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned through that process. Just I got to speak what I hope, and faith comes by hearing. You know, so I'm gonna speak it into existence. And here's the thing that's powerful about speaking.
Yeah.
Speaking only works for me. Here's the thing. It can work on you if you're willing to receive it or not. So keep people around you that's going to speak positive.
There it is.
You know, it can work on you, but it doesn't have jurisdiction. So if I say something, you have the ability to deny it or accept it.
So good.
So keep people around you that's going to cause you to accept good things.
Well, let's give it up for Jason Avant, 3 people in a row, and Jackson. Hey, man, I just want to thank you so much, man, just for taking, I mean, literally, people don't know you ran out of your house to come be here.
Oh, that's all a blessing.
So that we can encourage men, remind them that God created you to be a better man. So we're looking forward to you being a part of the Better Man Experience on October the 26th, 2024, right here at Voorhees, New Jersey, 333 Preston Avenue, guys. Click on the link. Start to register. Men have already begun to register. This is going to encourage and redirect and direct your life. So, guys, so excited. Thanks again, Jason, for being here and just always being there. And just excited about the dreams that God has for you, because you have not succumbed to the nightmare.
Amen.
All right, guys. Love y'all. See you soon.